Okay, so amino acids are bonded together through peptide bonds, and then those peptide bonds, whenever that's the primary structure, it's just a sequence of amino acids, and between the amino acids there are peptide bonds that connect, covalent peptide bonds that connect them together, and then there's secondary the secondary structure of proteins, in which it's a repeated sequence of amino acids, and there are hydrogen bonds, and they. Does that mean? Oh no! Thank God, that's fine. Hi Mom. There are in secondary structure. It's a repeated sequence of amino acids, and it can be folded. There are hydrogen bonds, and it's alpha helix proteins and beta pleated sheets that are like the two different structures. But it isn't until the tertiary structure, which is when the R groups start interacting with each other, when that new globular shape comes to form. So like, specifically for those watching the video, tertiary replies on R group interactions, okay? And then quaternary is whenever. Okay, one thing that needs to be specific is that a sequence of amino acids is called a polypeptide, and a tertiary structure is one polypeptide. A quaternary structure is two or more polypeptides, and on pictures you can differentiate between quaternary and tertiary structures because of there be different colors for each polypeptide. And then, something that's specific, like you need to know to make up of. An amino acid is made up of an amine, a carboxylar group, an R group, and the carbon. But take note, I don't know if it's just a carbon or if the carbon's part of something else. But it's like, okay, look here if you're watching the video. It's, actually I'm not going to draw it. You can look it up online. Okay, so I've discussed primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary structures. They're all proteins. Proteins have specific functions, and different proteins have different functions. Denaturation of a protein is the unfolding of a protein, and that can happen between heat or change in pH. But you need to know that those magnitudes, like there isn't a set magnitude at a pH in which a protein will denature, because, for instance, the stomach is more acidic than the proteins in your mouth. So the proteins will denature, like, at a more basic pH for proteins in your stomach compared to like the proteins in your mouth. It's just like, just be aware that there are different pHs, and also denaturation is a disruption of hydrogen bonds. It's all or nothing. You can't go from quaternary to tertiary. Whenever you denature a quaternary structure, a quaternary protein, you go all the way down to like the primary sequence. You go back down, and it loses its function. And for the quiz, it would be good to know examples of proteins and be able to discuss their functions. And just for the purpose of the video, the proteins I have listed are rubisco, insulin, immunoglobulins,